Esperanza TV presents Taste and See. The story for today, I Shall Not Want.
My name is Jose Cano, and I live in McMinnville, Oregon. My faith story is one of a lot of learning about what God can do in my life. I didn't believe in God, and because of bad decisions, one day I realized I couldn't handle so many problems anymore. At that moment, I lifted my head to the sky and said, "God, if you exist, please show me."
I realized that I needed God. That God I used to say didn't exist. One day I had to cry out to him and say, "If you really exist, you can see the problem I'm going through. I didn't even ask him, "Pablo," I just said, "I want you to solve this problem for me." And in 2 hours, he answered my prayer. And from the moment I cried out to him and realized that he existed, I started having Bible studies. I gave myself to the Lord and my life has completely changed.
During that time, I met my wife, who gave me Bible studies, and I got baptized. One day, while learning about tithes and offerings in Malachi 3:10, I started to question the topic a lot.
When someone gives you Bible studies, everything is fine. But when they want to touch your wallet, right? Like, what do you say? And I even told my wife once, I'm not going to support. Pastors, no. And she tithed and gave offerings. And I did it with a lot of reluctance, even though they had those verses about God loving a cheerful giver. It didn't take me long.
I would tell him I could see it. I've always noticed things that people might overlook as something small, but in my life, I was a widow with 3 children, and the Lord did so much for me. He had provided for me when I needed it most.
With my wife's help, I understood that being a steward of God was an attitude of faithfulness and gratitude for everything God does in our lives. One day, I received a letter.
The government was taking more than half of my paycheck. They were taking almost $700 from my pay. So how were we supposed to manage?
I had doubts about whether I would really be able to keep tithing and still provide for my family's needs. But we prayed to God to multiply our resources and strengthen our faith.
We kept tithing and giving offerings. How wonderful God is. We never lacked anything. We were able to pay the mortgage on the house. Even during those times, we managed to save. And how did we do it? Only the Lord. It's impossible for us to explain the Lord's math with our own math.
For 5 years, we lived with our monthly budget stretched thin, but even so, God showed his faithfulness and never let us lack anything.
When you experience the faithfulness that God has for you, because he promises it, he says he will open the doors, the windows, and pour out abundant blessings. We have experienced it ourselves.
Maybe we don't have money, but what if we could see that all these years our car never broke down, that we haven't had a disaster, that our children are okay? What greater blessing could we possibly see than that? There are just so many.
Through these simple things, God has clearly shown us that when we truly put ourselves in his loving hands, even someone who does not believe in him can be greatly blessed.
My life changed. For 40 years, I said I was an atheist. Now I've known the Lord for 27 years, and life is different. It's a phenomenal change. God strengthened my faith because he revealed himself in my life. This experience shows us that God's faithfulness goes beyond what we can understand.
Taste and see.
Now let us prepare to be faithful to God with our tithe and offerings.